Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the #1 current affairs program in Trinidad and Tobago. I am Saieed Ali. You are viewing Real Talk with Saieed Ali on Synergy Network. Remember, viewers, the #1 current affairs program where we get the road fix, the box drain fix, the bridges fix, the amendment and the laws pushed for you and passed in the parliament just for the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. So, viewers, it's 7 p.m. in Trinidad and Tobago. Call your friends, call your family, let them know that Real Talk with Saieed Ali is going live. Remember, we are also on YouTube and Facebook, social media platform viewers. On Facebook, it's Real Talk with Saieed Ali. On YouTube, it's TT Real Talk. Subscribe, hit the bell, viewers, and you will know when we go live. So, Trinidad and Tobago, you have a minute or two I am giving you to call your friends and your family and let them know we are going live. Remember, viewers, the phone contact numbers. Remember, viewers, Real Talk is offering you 4% on a fixed investment or fixed deposit right here in our company. The only financial institution in Trinidad and Tobago is offering you 4% is Real Talk. Also, viewers, you could be a member of our Real Talk Credit Union information. You want to join us? It's not a problem. It's not a problem. You can come, you can buy shares. You, the husband, the wife, the kids. Remember that, viewers. Real Talk Credit Union information. Let me tell you something. Not long from now, we're going to be the #1 financial institution in Trinidad and Tobago in fixed deposit savings. Mark my words. Mark my words. You know, when Saieed tell you something, it's because it is in the making and it is coming up. Remember that, viewers. Remember that. So, Real Talk Group of Company, viewers, is a big company. We do work local, regional, and international. I always tell you that. I don't just do business in Trinidad, but international also. So, this is one of the reasons why that I don't really depend on people to sponsor ads, and I don't really depend on you to ask me to run an ad. Because you might tell me, oh, Saieed, that's my partner, don't talk about him and do this and do that. But let me tell you something, if your partner doing something wrong and he's part of the problem we have in Trinidad and Tobago, well then he will be lighted up right here on Real Talk with Saieed Ali. That's just me. That's just me. As long as you are part of the problem, you will never be part of the solution. You would never be part of the solution. You know why? As long as you are benefiting from the problem, why fix it? Why fix it? So just a little update. Just a little update, viewers, with the National Flour Mill. State-owned National Flour Mill, NFM, has reduced its price by around 10% on all its main retail brand of flour after monitoring world grain price. Over the past few weeks, CEO Ian Mitchell said along with keeping an eye on these prices, the cost of freight and the other inputs contributed to this drop.
NFM has reviewed the proposal.
Nutrimix, its competitor, dropped its price from 10 to 13% on Country Pride and Nutrimix Premium Grade 2 kg and 10 to 12% on its 10 kg size flour product. This was announced and came into effect on the 3rd of July. So that is the latest update on that, viewers. So just keep that in mind. Nutrimix and NFM flour, it's 10 to 13% price drop. So look for it at your favorite grocery stores, or your parlor, or the mini mart, or anywhere you purchase your flour from. So remember that, viewers, there's a 10 to 30% decline in prices from Nutrimix and Flour Mill. So your price at the grocery for everything that uses flour is supposed to drop. Bread, cake, pastries, whatever it is that flour is used to make, I am sure the price is going to drop. Because the two main companies that supply flours in Trinidad, they have dropped their prices. So look for it at the grocery when you are making your next grocery. Remember that, viewers. Government has again extended its tax amnesty for another 2 months, as June 30th was the latest extended deadline for tax amnesty that started in November 2022. Now, Finance Minister Colin Member stated that said the government understood that the pandemic was hard on many, especially small business. Did the government forget to tax you? No, they did not forget to tax you. But what they forgot to do, or I should say, what they willfully forgot to do, is that remember when the Prime Minister said that if the purchasing price for oil that presently the government is paying, if that price is drop, that they're going to drop the price at the pump, and if it drops lower, you're going to pay lower at the pump. That never came into effect. It never came into effect. So here now, the government is telling us, Colin Member is telling us, the pandemic was hard on many, especially small business. So what the government did, they extended your tax paying time. But did they drop the price at the pump when oil went down? When the purchasing price of oil went down, did they drop the price at the pump? No. No, they did not drop it. Why? They intentionally forgot to do that. But here now, they are warning you and they are letting you know that there's a penalty. But wait, in telling you there's a penalty, they have extended the time. Remember how the government hit Trinidad and Tobago at 649? If you don't pay property tax, there's a penalty of $5,000. And all we homeowners in Trinidad, what we do? We run. We run to make sure we submit what? Documentation. To do what? Pay property tax. So the government bullied you. They force you by letting you know that there's a penalty if you don't pay your tax. But tell them to reduce the price at the pump on the promises that they made. They're not doing that. Who is the fool? We, the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. We, the citizens. Oh, let's say something. Talk. Say, Saeed, you're bashing the PNM. Say that now. Somebody call in and say that now. And then I will ask you, when you went to the pump, did you find out if the government dropped the price? So who is the clown? Who is the clown? Me telling you what to look out for? Or you just being the clown and going and pay what the government said to do? This is why I love being me, you know. This is one of the reasons why I don't ask people to sponsor. An ad. No, I don't need your ad. Keep it. Keep your money. You know why I'm telling you that now? Because it will help you to put gas. It will help you to pay a higher purchase on something. Who the cap fits? That's what Marley say. Let them wear it. The hat fits in all here now. The hat fits in all here. I want to hear Trinidad and Tobago. 2386716 is the phone line to call in. It's Mash Up Monday. The government is warning you. There's a penalty. But we extended your time. So save up your money. 1 cent by 1 cent by 1 cent. Because after the 31st of August, they're coming to collect their money. So how come you ain't paying less price per liter of gas at the pump? How come? Because the government wants their money. And you want a better quality of life? And you need better roads to run on? And you need proper education in school? And you need better security in Trinidad and Tobago? And you need better healthcare service? Say something now, man. All you feel, Said putting water in his mouth to talk. No! I will talk with my mouth dry. You know they say Crick's biscuit dry? I will talk with my mouth dry for you to understand. Now, he stated that during the COVID, small business struggled to pay their statutory obligations, national insurance contribution, and income tax. So an amnesty was introduced in November of last year. Listen to the short man.
We recognize that small business in particular struggle. We recognize that when your hand in the lion mouth, you have to do something to get the hand out. So that during COVID, we recognized that small businesses struggled to pay their statutory obligations. They struggled to pay their national insurance contributions. They struggled to pay their income tax. So we have introduced an amnesty which we introduced in November of last year. We extended it several times. But today, in recognition of the fact that now with the new Procurement Act in force, companies, whether you're small or you're big, you're going to have to pay your taxes.
All you hear what the man say? You will have to pay your taxes, which means your penalty will be into effect after August 31st, 2023. So let's say something now. Now is the time, you Trinidadians and Tobagonians, all you have to demand from Minister of Finance, how come all of them drop the price when the oil price went down? Why are we still paying the old price at the pump? Why are we not paying the lower price that the Prime Minister said he would? Do for who? Us, the citizens. Caller, good night.
Good night, Saeed, and to all your listeners.
Go right ahead.
Saeed, you know what I'm most annoyed about? The WASA issue. And the WASA issue, I have done my own analysis. And I want to say the WASA issue is tantamount and it's equivalent to the COVID protocol. And you know what the COVID protocol? They take all the senior doctors and redeploy them, and they use junior doctors, and we end up with 4,500 deaths. In the restructuring of WASA, you know they employed a lot of junior engineers, and most likely they redeploy the senior engineers. So that small piece of engineering work where they cut the pipe short is due to incompetence or lack of knowledge by the new sort of engineers. So that is why I'm saying it is the COVID protocol. And most likely the executive of WASA went to play golf, just like what happened in Paris, You know when they're looking for direction, what to do. The boss man was playing golf in Tobago. I'm going to have a nice night.
Thank you, my friend. So viewers, hear this in. All I gonna love this. All I gonna love this. However, the minister said, while the government was lenient before with the new Procurement Act, companies big or small will have to pay its taxes or make arrangement with the Board of Inland Revenue. IMBO then announced that the tax amnesty has been extended to August 31st, 2023. And now is the time for companies to put your house in order, as there may not be another exemption. But did the Prime Minister put the petroleum industry in order to lower the price when the price of gas went down or oil went down? Did they put their house in order and serve the nation as they say the government is working for you? Let's talk now. Say something. Caller, good night.
Night, Mr. Saeed. Great program, man. I missed you last week, man. But anyway, welcome back with your live program.
Thank you,
have you back.
Hey, my
Mr.
friend.
Saeed,
my friend.
We had a gentleman from the United Nations in Trinidad here hosting a CARICOM meeting.
Yes.
The United Nations Secretary General, Mr. Guterres. Mr. Guterres came here as he arrived in this country, Rowley by tea, and poisoned this man. This man only saying good thing about a notorious, how to put this man, but a notorious dictator. Nowhere in the world, nowhere in this country, anybody have anything good to say about this man. A man who practiced the worst crime on the face of the earth. Guterres, you know this, is discrimination based on people's race. Guterres, the evidence is there. You went and inspect the Guard of Honor. You see any Indian on that parade? 1% Indian in the Trinidad and Tobago Defense Force, 5% Indian in the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service. This is state agencies. And you come to praise this man, you should be ashamed. You hear who the U.S. Secretary praised, Mr. Blinken. He praised the Guyana president for having vision of food security and security for this nation. This is the vision of the Guyana's president, you know. And Blinken praised nobody praised Rowley. I don't know that. But when you, Mr. Guterres, you should be talking about taking this bunch of pirates, notorious pirates, before an international court for trials, you know, man. This is what you should be saying. But the old people always say, to get to a man's heart through his stomach. You come here, eat lamb, ham, jam, lobster, and shrimp, while citizens suffering in this country for roads, and citizens suffering here high food prices in the grocery. Right? Mr. Saeed, you keep up the great work, man. God bless you, man. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity.
Not a problem, not a problem. So viewers, Imbert said, put your house in order, as there may not be another exemption. Listen to this.
So today, we extended the tax amnesty to the 31st of August, 2023. So put your house in order. Put your house in order. Because after that, I don't think they have another amnesty.
So viewers, we are going for a short commercial break, but when we come back, we're going to hear about the local government reform can only benefit this country after this break.
Tired of wasting precious time at the bank applying for a loan, only to be denied? We understand your frustration. Here at Realtalk Group of Companies, we take a different approach. Contact Saeed, Managing Director of Realtalk Group of Companies and licensed moneylender at 238-6716, 242-7690 or 339-1670. Feel free to visit our office at number 14 Carney Savannah Road, Chaguanas, or number 132 Superior Road, Victoria Village, San Fernando.
Realtalk Credit Union information stores are now open to members of the public. We are located at the Realtalk Group of Companies building at number 14 Carney Savannah Main Road. Opening hours are from 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Contact us via telephone at 238-6716 or 231-6219 to book your appointment. You can also stay connected with us via Facebook. Do you have a public concern you would like to highlight? You can email your pictures and videos to realpublicconcerns@gmail.com, and we will highlight your concerns on our show for Public Concerns Wednesday.
So Trinidad and Tobago, welcome back to Real Talk. As the caller said, he would have thanked me for coming back live on. I was out for about almost 2 weeks, viewers, But nevertheless, I'm back here. We are live. Nobody else do it like Real Talk, you know. Nobody else do it like Real Talk. Here, I side demand change. I side demand justice. I side demand a better future for our little children. You know, as the government does always say, the children are the future. Anyone could be a prime minister growing up. Anyone could be the president. Anyone could be the minister of finance. As kids growing up, they have goals. I have goals also to set Trinidad and Tobago straight. Why? I live here just like you. I'm a businessman. I live right here. I pay my taxes. You hear what I'm saying? I have until the 31st to pay all my taxes. Otherwise, a penalty will be introduced. But did they drop gas to benefit the citizen? No, they didn't do that. If they did drop gas, citizens and companies who have a fleet of vehicles, they would have saved on gas. That saving money would have gone towards paying what? The taxes. Hello, come now. Think a little bit now with a little brain God give all you. Prime Minister Dr. Saieed Ali have stated that his government is continuing on its journey to local government reform. He confirms that all his candidates were voluntarily, as no one was paid no fee or promised anything. Listen to the PM.
We have offered no one an inducement. We have paid no one a fee. And most importantly, we have made no one a promise. This is the People's National Movement. And all we can say to all the chapters, form them and bring them. Name them and bring them. The PNM will deal with them.
The man made no promises to nobody. Dr. Ali stated that the elections are important and has consequences. As he spoke of all the government success, the PM said, if the country has local management through local government, it can only improve lives in every community. Listen to this. You all would love this part.
If we have local arrangements where it is largely management, because local government is really local management. Everywhere you live today in this compound, you've come from all over Trinidad. And all of you know that we in the PNM say that if we have local management through local government, you can improve the quality of life in your community. We all know that.
Caller, good night.
Very good evening to you, Mr. Said.
To you, my friend.
Just tuning in, and thanks for the opportunity.
No problem.
So the only lives that have been improved in the country over the years is the lives of the PNM ministers, friends, families, financiers. And what I am really disturbed about, I don't know if anybody called and mentioned it, but I am very disturbed about the police intimidating and arresting elderly people for protesting for the right reasons. I have seen clips where it is in the public domain where they went to Sealuts, the Beatam, and Piccadilly Street in Port of Spain, where people were hurling obscenities at the police. No one was arrested. So by arresting these elderly people, it just shows the apparent bias of the police service. All the best.
Thank you, my friend. Now, just to add to that, my friend, the police in Trinidad and Tobago needs to understand something also. People wouldn't come out in their community to protest for nothing. And especially the superintendent and the seniors. I want them to understand that. A community would not come out on the streets and protest for nothing. I will tell you this, the police in Trinidad cannot protest. The protective service in Trinidad and Tobago cannot protest. They have to understand that if the villagers come out and protesting for water, protesting for bad road, protesting for drain, the officers need to understand that that is for the betterment of the community. And I want police to understand this, because when you pay 100,000 for a nice fancy vehicle and you go down in a big hole in the community, let me tell you something. The neighbors are helping. Is the policeman when he collect his salary, he had to fix his car. But you want to lock up now the commuters or the community members and them for protesting. It had so much of criminal in the community. The guns, the drugs, the cocaine, the prostitution. You know the police are going to lock them up. Tonight if they're vexed, they're vexed. But the truth is the truth. The truth is the truth. I don't care which senior vexed tonight with Saieed, you know, but the truth is the truth. You spend $200,000 on a car and let your son pass in a community and go wrong in a hole and bend the tire or bust the shock. You know you want to blame the government, but when side standing up for all you know, all you're going against the citizen who's protesting for something for the community. It's sad. That's why when I already had to light up TTPS. That is why. Use all your common sense. I should have guns and drugs in the community that they have information about. Are they going forward on it? No, they're not going forward on it. But you're protesting for the street light. You're protesting for bad road. You're protesting for water. They want to lock you up. Sorry to DPS, but the right thing is the right thing and the wrong thing is the wrong thing. So if all are vexed with me tonight, hard luck. Because when you bend your rim, oh, I wish it had somebody to highlight the holes. But when I'm doing that, you want to lock up the people who protesting? No, it worked both ways. It worked both ways. Just to finish off on the local government, the Prime Minister, he further noted that local government initiative was not part of the PNM's campaign, but was commitment to his party made years ago. Listen to this.
And this is not something that has come to us in the PNM for an election campaign, as some of our detractors would say, most disrespectfully and most hypocritically, that the PNM is campaigning on local government because it's the issue they think they can win an election on. I'm doing this because I'm continuing a journey and keeping a commitment that this party has made to this country a long time ago. It took us a long time to get to a point like this, where the singular issue in a local government election is whether you support local government or whether you oppose local government reform. It's as simple as that.
Caller, good night.
Good night, Saieed.
All right, ahead, my friend.
You know, all this CARICOM summit, where does the money come? Where does the funding come from to fund that summit, sir? The
Central
CARICOM
Bank.
Summit.
Central Bank.
Isn't that taxpayers' money, sir?
Correct.
So how is it, if you are spending taxpayers' money, how is it that the taxpayer does not know how much this summit costs? It is imperative for us to know how much it costs and what benefit accrues to the country on this summit. You know, I heard in the news where Colin Imbert passed legislation to exempt that from the Procurement Act. Is it, and the summit has finished, but he had that provision for 3 months. This is local government. Is it that this is what they're going to use to fund and you know, the local government activities? So, you know, these are things I don't understand with this government. Then this man is talking, and he's talking about reform local management. You know, up to now, sir, with this reform they're talking about, there is no provision that has been made for money to be collected. Where is money is being paid into? There is no account for that.
Correct.
Which means all the money is going to go into the consolidated fund. All is needed, what is needed, and I'm thinking to remind the Prime Minister on this, and the Finance Minister, just give the corporations, the opposition, because as far as I'm concerned, the PNM constituency, the PNM control corporation are getting a full share of it, you know. It is just the opposition corporation is not getting the funding. Why can't you be fair? Play something foreign to this government. Why can't you give them the allotted subvention, the amount of money that is due for them? They can manage with it. But when you are stifling them for funds, when you are stifling, that is the reform we must work on. That is the reform that the country needs. You understand what I'm saying? And when you are going to appeal things like that Zika child, you know, where the court awarded money, you're going to appeal that. Is the money that you are going to give the people, the newly minted senior council, more money in their pockets? So the whole issue here, why we are suffering with infrastructure, road, light, flooding, and all these kind of things, is because our money is being wasted away. Because this government is inefficient, it cannot manage. And what is the only solution to this problem that we are facing is to get them out. Get them out, and that solves the problem. Thanks a lot, sir.
Thank you, my friend. Prime Minister Dr. Saieed Ali has launched an attack on National Transformation Alliance NTA leader Gary Griffith. Dr. Ali waived a Ministry of Finance Center audit committee report where it is alleged that Griffith exceeded the $1 million limit of contracts while he was Commissioner of Police. Reading from a 5-page of a 46-page document, the PM stated that the Commissioner of Police is an accounting officer, so he had a limit of $1 million. He said there were numerous instances where single contract agreement approved were in excess of the commissioners, and there were 9 instances where contracts were approved internally by TTPS. Look at this.
The Commissioner of Police is an accounting officer. So he too had a limit of $1 million. So he could sign contracts in the police service of up to $1 million. This executive summary of this audit starts out with saying abuse of delegation of authority. Let me read a couple lines of it for you. There were numerous instances where single contract agreements approved were in excess of the Commissioner's delegated authority of $1 million, and contracts were broken up to bypass the delegated authority of both the Ministerial Tenders Committee and the Central Tenders Board. There were 9 instances where contracts were approved internally by the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, of which the Commissioner's authority did not exist.
So now, viewers, the PM said the gentleman's authority, limited as Commissioner, was $1 million. But he managed to get the police to enter into a contract under his authority for $51 million. Ooh, here is back now.
In particular, December 30th, 2020, the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service and a private company entered into a vehicle lease agreement for the lease of 114 vehicles for a period of 3 years from January 1st, 2021 at a cost of $51.1 million. So people, what I'm saying to you here, reading from this audit, this gentleman who now wants executive authority, form political party, join up with the UNC, hail friends well met, because birds of a feather flock together. Even after they molt and come back, they still flock together. His authority limit as Commissioner of Police is $1 million. But he managed to got the police to enter into a contract under his authority of $51 million. That is what he wants authority to do in Port of Spain Corporation and Diego Martin Corporation, where he has candidates.
The viewers, meanwhile, speaking about the PNM's record, protesters entered into the public meeting. Now, you're going to see this video. However, Rowley went on to say that the opposition was responsible and encouraged this kind of behavior. So look at this, viewers.
That is the kind of record that you speak about. That is the kind of record that you want. That is the kind of record that you have to look for when you're searching for somebody to that is what they encourage. We are having our political meeting. We don't go into anybody's political meeting and behave like that. But that is what they want to bring into this country. And I'm asking you to reject it.
Protesters got up and started protesting against Rowley. So he blamed the UNC for that behavior. So viewers, let me tell you something. Election is in the air. And you got to be careful on who you vote. We are not telling you who to vote and who not to vote, who to support and who not to support. It's your choice. But what I am telling you is if you are looking for betterment, you would know where to put your eggs. So we are going for a short commercial break, viewers. But when we come back from that commercial break, there's a little thing about the drop-load vehicles I want to talk about in Trinidad and Tobago, what's something that the license office has released. But apart from that, we're going to hear about the government did not approve shady contracts for police service. That is coming from the Ministry of Finance. We're going to hear from that after this break.
Do you have a public concern you would like to highlight? You can email your pictures and videos to realpublicconcerns@gmail.com, and we will highlight your concerns on our show for Public Concerns Wednesday.
Tired of wasting precious time at the bank applying for a loan, only to be denied? We understand your frustration. Here at Realtalk Group of Companies, we take a different approach. Contact Saieed, Managing Director of Realtalk Group of Companies and licensed moneylender at 238-6716, 242-7690 or 339-1670. Feel free to visit our office at number 14 Carney Savannah Road, Chaguanas, or number 132 Superior Road, Victoria Village, San Fernando.
Realtalk Credit Union information stores are now open to members of the public. We are located at the Realtalk Group of Companies building at number 14 Crony Savannah Main Road. Opening hours are from 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Contact us via telephone at 238-6716 or 231-6219 to book your appointment. You can also stay connected with us via Facebook.
So welcome back to Real Talk, viewers. Remember, at Real Talk, you're getting 4% on a fixed investment in our company. Remember that, viewers. Remember that, 4%. So I always like to explain this to the public. Now, in a financial institution, you will have $100,000 put down as a fixed deposit. What is your interest on that? 1% per year, meaning you're getting $1,000 and $100,000 and you still have to pay taxes on that, on your 1,000. At Real Talk, we are offering you 4%. Nowhere in Trinidad and Tobago you're going to get that. Nowhere other than Real Talk. Remember, you can also become a member of the Real Talk Credit Union Information, viewers. We'll be leaders. Remember, side come to lead, not to follow. Not to follow. So, Minister of Finance Colin Mimwood have stated that neither he nor his ministry approved any contract for the police service under former Commissioner of Police Gary Griffith that may be in breach of the law. In response, Griffith noted that all the contract he engaged during his 3-year leadership were above board and the Finance Ministry had knowledge of them. So who is lying? Is the Ministry of Finance lying? or the former Commissioner of Police lying? Imbert said Gary have received the usual appointment letter as he's an accounting officer, giving him audience or guidance on his role, the function and responsibility regarding all financial transactions. So who is lying? Is Gary lying or is it Imbert lying? Who? Who is to believe that is speaking the truth here? Caller, good night.
Good night, Mr. Said.
Go right ahead, you're live, my friend.
There are a few things I want to make mention of.
Sure.
Right. First of all, Point Lisas is an expired economic zone. The plants have reached their design life, and there isn't feedstock in natural gas to keep Point Lisas surviving profitable. Even the investors in the plants in Point Lisas, they want to pull out because they cannot revamp those plants by bringing it to best available technology and meeting environmental requirements, especially with air dispersion modeling and so.
Yes.
So what is the economic alternative to Point Lisas? I am saying that government should set aside a zone, not a free zone like warehouses where do import and sell things back. They should set aside a zone for about $50 billion coming from private investors, where they manufacture, and the manufacturing should be based on raw materials available locally. Now, to do that, they will have to give the investors some incentives.
Yes.
So this is something that exists in South Africa. I saw that in South Africa where they use this. I'm one of the countries there. They are now an economic powerhouse. Right. Secondly, they should create an entrepreneurial skills bank where they've set aside about $15–20 million to assist entrepreneurs, because you could pay fantastic sums in rental and fantastic sums in all kinds of things.
Correct.
I don't want to go into it, whether it's corruption or whether it's legitimate payments. Or so.
I understand.
So if you set aside this sum to pay, to assist entrepreneurs, they can then go into simple skills like making sauces, bottling nuts and seamstress, tailoring. And
small business, develop small business.
That they could export their products with.
Correct.
That is another thing. The other thing is, you should not be running a country wherever there is some kind of profitability, you're taking the profits, or whether there is some revenue, you're taking it to wine and dine and pay $5,000 and $6,000 a plate for food and millions of dollars in accommodation, because it adds no value to the economic agenda of your country. It adds no value to the running of your business. No private businessman spends money.
I guess we lost that there. Moving along. Prime Minister Dr. Saieed Ali invited listeners to consider how wonderful the region could have been if it had united into one nation. However, he said, CARICOM has still achieved much of its population. Dr. Ali noted, CARICOM 50th anniversary saying children should be taught about its history. He said, this regional family of nations can be proud of its 50 years of achievement as it faces challenges as it has risen to overcome them. Despite the difficulties, it has strived, expand, and flourish. Listen to our PM.
Together, this regional family of nations can examine with pride our achievements during the last century. We have faced many challenges and have risen to overcome them. Despite the difficulties, through our cooperation, our shared goals, and above all else, through the friendship within CARICOM. Our regional integration movement has not only survived, but it has thrived, expanded, and flourished. Whilst we recognize that there's a whole lot more to be attained, at this juncture, we can proudly say that we have been going in the right direction.
So now, viewers, alluding to CARICOM, Cooperation Against COVID-19, he said, in a post-pandemic era, regional bonds were now more important than ever. The PM added that no one will ever forget the lives and livelihood of persons hung in the balance under the threat of what was then a very novel death-dealing virus. He said, trade, tourism, manufacturing, culture, service, GDP and lifestyle had sharply declined across CARICOM during this pandemic.
As we enter the post-pandemic era, our bonds are more important than ever before. None of us will ever forget those long, dark days and nights when over a few years, the lives and livelihoods of our people hung in the balance under the threat of what was then a very novel, death-dealing virus. Our trade, tourism, manufacturing, culture, services, and our very living was severely affected, and the gross domestic product of every member state was significantly affected without exception, and we went into stark decline.
Now, viewers, we heard from the PM. We're going to hear from UNC now. Barataria Sama MP Saddam Hussein has questioned whether the PNM is trying to bring into a resource from outside TNT to help win its election on the August 14 local government election. Hussein claimed that before last week CARICOM heads of government meeting in Port of Spain, Finance Minister Colin Imwood signed an order of goods and service on June 29th for it to be exempted from the Public Procurement Act for 3 months. Hussein said the CARICOM meeting, which was held from the 3rd to the 5th of July at the Hyatt Regency in Port of Spain, was illegal. Listen to this.
On the eve of the CARICOM meeting, Minister Imwood signed off an order exempting, I'm going to read the order for you, exempting foreign visits. So it says the Act, the Procurement Act, does not apply to the provision of services for events associated with visits by foreign heads of state, foreign heads of government, or foreign dignitaries to the government of Trinidad and Tobago, dated the 29th of June 2023. This order shall continue in force for a period of 3 months from the 29th of June 2023. I have the order in my hand. So, Minister Imwood exempted all of these costs associated with these events to host these foreign dignitaries. But do you know what is even more shocking? This order is illegal. This is an illegal order.
What was the total cost of having the heads of CARICOM in Trinidad and Tobago? What came in that not supposed to come in? What was used that was not supposed to use? I'm asking questions. He said, no one knows how much hosting the CARICOM meeting cost the country. And he has no problem with what Trinidad and Tobago is hosting foreign dignitaries. But it must be done with accountability to taxpayers. Listen to this.
So it means that it's a free-for-all. It means it's a shopping spree. It means that they could award that contract to anybody because there is no law guiding it, because it was an exemption from the law. The recently concluded CARICOM Crime Symposium for 2 days cost the taxpayers $3.4 million. This time it was a 5-day visit. Could you imagine what the cost of that event would have associated? Now, I have no problem with Trinidad and Tobago hosting foreign dignitaries, hosting heads of government, but it must be done with accountability, it must be done with transparency, and it must be done in accordance with the law of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago.
Trinidad and Tobago, can the Ministry of Finance bring forth to the citizens how much money was spent on that 5 days CARICOM symposium in our country? How much money did it cost the taxpayers? We would love to know. We would love to know. Opposition leader Kamala Persad-Bissessar has questioned the effectiveness of CARICOM in dealing with certain issues during its 50 years of existence. CARICOM heads of government met in Trinidad and Tobago from 3rd of July to 5th of July. This year marks the 50th anniversary of its founding. In a statement, Persad-Bissessar said, therefore should be a reflection on the performance of CARICOM as an organization as it celebrates this landmark. She claimed that CARICOM has no policy with regard to independent observers for election, even from within the region, and asked whether the CARICOM single market and economy had benefited the region. Did the region benefit from CSME? Persad-Bissessar also claimed that the UNC was told that the 50th anniversary CARICOM celebration costed $20 million. However, no document, evidence was provided to support this claim. So can the US, not the US, the Ministry of Finance, call him in boot, can he produce the cost to the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago that Persad-Bissessar is saying it costed $20 million, but they have no evidence of it? Can the government bring this forward? Can they bring this forward? So viewers, we are going for a short commercial break, but when we come back, we're going to hear the US backs Trinidad and Tobago gunfight after this.
Do you have a public concern you would like to highlight? You can email your pictures and videos to realpublicconcerns@gmail.com, and we will highlight your concerns on our show for Public Concerns Wednesday.
Tired of wasting precious time at the bank applying for a loan, only to be denied? We understand your frustration. Here at Realtalk Group of Companies, we take a different approach. Contact Saieed, Managing Director of Realtalk Group of Companies and licensed moneylender at 238-6716, 242-7690 or 339-1670. Feel free to visit our office at number 14 Carney Savannah Road, Chaguanas, or number 132 Superior Road, Victoria Village, San Fernando.
Realtalk Credit Union information stores are now open to members of the public. We are located at the Realtalk Group of Companies building at number 14 Crony Savannah Main Road. Opening hours are from 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Contact us via telephone at 238-6716 or 231-6219 to book your appointment. You can also stay connected with us via Facebook.
Welcome back to Real Talk, viewers. Remember, we are offering you 4% on investments in Real Talk, viewers, and you can also be a member of Real Talk Credit Union Information. Remember that. Now, to the US. In admitting that most of the guns that illegally entered Trinidad and Tobago are manufactured in his country, U.S. House of Representatives Democrat leader Hakeem Jeffries has given assurance to CARICOM that this will be addressed with great urgency. Listen to this.
We came to Trinidad and Tobago to listen, to find a common path forward, and then to go back to Washington, D.C. to act. Act in the best interests of the relationship between the United States and Trinidad and Tobago, act in the best interests of the relationship between America and CARICOM. We understand that we have a shared history, that we share a neighborhood, and that, of course, we have shared values. Trinidad and Tobago, a multi-ethnic, thriving democracy.
Now, he added that he understood the guns that are being illegally trafficked into TNT are being used in involved violent act, and in almost every instance is manufactured and purchased in the U.S. Listen to this.
The issues that have been discussed so eloquently has been raised by the Prime Minister include finding a path forward to tackle the challenges related to the explosion, unacceptably, of gun trafficking and gun violence. Gun violence is something that we're no stranger to here as members who represent congressional districts in America, and that unfortunately has been visited upon the people of Trinidad and Tobago. And we understand that the guns that are being illegally trafficked here to Trinidad and Tobago, that are being used in violent acts, are guns that aren't manufactured here in Trinidad and Tobago. They're guns that in almost every instance is manufactured and initially purchased in the United States of America. It's a challenge that we are going to confront and confront decisively in the best interests of our two countries.
As he had a lot to say. A lot he had to say. So listen to this.
Is a foundation to do more, but may also provide us with an opportunity to meet the moment in terms of the gun trafficking challenges that we confront in the United States of America and that you confront here in Trinidad and Tobago. The Bipartisan Safer Communities Act, for the first time, made gun trafficking and straw purchasing both internal within the United States of America and in terms of the international trafficking of guns to places like Trinidad and Tobago a federal crime. And it will give the Department of Justice, it will give the ATF, it will give the FBI the ability now to more aggressively go after the gun traffickers who are flooding our communities in the United States of America and your country here in Trinidad and Tobago with weapons of war in ways that are unconscionable and unacceptable.
Now, viewers, he intends to take steps when he go back. Trinidad needs to back up with security. That is what we need to do to become #1 in the Caribbean. So, viewers, I do want to thank you for viewing Real Talk with Saieed Ali tonight on our live program. I mean, I wasn't here for the last 2 weeks or so. I was out, but nevertheless, I'm here back strong. I did whatever business I had to do. Now I'm back here for Real Talk with Saieed Ali as we go live every night from Monday to Friday from 7 to 8 p.m. on Synergy Network, and I will run the next day from 11:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. on Synergy. So viewers, until we meet again for another live program of Real Talk with Saieed Ali, I am Saieed saying, Al-Karahima turobo alla inna zabakunuru alla anta. Don't be as dumb as the government thinks you are. Until we meet again, good night.